Hey everyone, so this video is about the book, The Wealthy Renter, How to Choose Housing That Will Make You Rich, written by Avery, who is a managing director at CIBC, and that's actually a Canadian bank. And basically at his job, he's analyzed the real estate market, specifically in Canada, and capital markets. And he's got some experience with real estate, analyzing it rather, and so he knows a thing or two about the real estate market in Canada specifically. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the points that he talks about in the book. And the very first point is that you've been brainwashed. And basically that means that you've been brainwashed to believe that buying a house is better than renting. And the idea behind that is that if you rent, you're just throwing away your money. And he just kind of looks at that objectively using facts and figures, saying that it's not, you know, you're really not throwing away your money, because if you put it somewhere else, you can actually get greater returns than if you were to buy a house. Now, he's basically saying that the whole idea behind being brainwashed is that the biggest driver behind you buying a place is everyone around you telling you, specifically the government, that you should buy a place. Now, he says that the government wants you to buy a place because, number one, when you buy a place, you're fixed in Canada. Now, you're fixed, you have to pay taxes on your property. Not only that, you have to pay taxes from your job. I mean, how else are you going to pay for your house? No, not many people pay for the house with cash. So you're going to have to get a mortgage, you're going to have to pay for that, and you're going to have to get a job. So you're going to have to pay taxes on your job or the income from your job. In addition, you're going to have to buy things, so you have to pay taxes on whatever it is that you buy. So the government wants you to stay there so they can get that cash from you, or the tax, and yeah, so that's why they're driving you to buy a place to get you fixed in one location. All right, so that's number one. The second point is that you lack flexibility when you buy a place. So if you buy a place, you can't really go to other places if something happens. So example, if you lose your job, going out to find another job might be a little bit more challenging, because you might not be able to find a job that you like close to where you live or near where you live. And so basically, if you wanted to go to another city or town or even country, it's a little bit more difficult to do that, because you have this house that you have to take care of and pay the mortgage. And obviously, if you put that house on the market to sell, you actually you might not be able to find someone. It might take months to find someone, right? So you have a lack of flexibility. And the third thing is, the reason why people think that buying a house is better is because of leverage. So leverage is basically that you borrow money from the bank. It's using debt or money borrowed to increase your net worth. But this also goes in reverse. So even if you borrow money from the bank to pay for your house, and if the value of the house goes up a little bit, your net worth goes up significantly because of the debt. But that's also true for the reverse. So if your if the value goes down just a little bit, your net worth goes down, dramatically, right? It's just, leverage is basically a seesaw. So if it goes up, your net worth goes up even more. But if it goes down, then your net worth goes down even more. And basically, the idea is that behind leverage, or behind this point, is it's not really safe, or he says it's not a good idea to put all of your money into one single asset. You know, if you talk to anyone who is a financial planner or in finance, they'll all talk about diversification. And he's saying that in this situation, it's not really a good idea to put maybe 80 or 90% or even 100% of your equity or your money into one single asset, because if something happens, then you're done. It's over, right? But he says you should look at other vehicles for investment. And that's where the fourth point comes in, where he talks about the stock market. So he says you're better off renting and using the rest of that money to put it into the stock market, specifically something called the dividends the Aristocrat Dividends Fund or Index. And basically, it's a group of companies that consistently pay out dividends to the shareholders. And he's saying that you're better off investing in that based off of historical data. Obviously, historical data doesn't kind of forecast the future, but just based off of historical data, he was saying that you're better off putting your money into the stock market, specifically the Canadian Dividend Aristocrats Index. And if by putting your money there, you're gonna actually come out ahead, as opposed to buying a place and allowing that house to go up in value. Alright, so anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in the book, there's a link down below. Check out my website at www.bookstakeaway.com to see the other books that I've reviewed or talked about. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.